So I have had a wonderful time here. I have to tell you, I spend a lot of time on the road, and almost all my time on the road, I give speeches. I'm not going to give a speech. I was here to learn some things, so I want to tell you what I learned today by sitting here over the last couple of days. I was actually sitting, just before we came up, thinking about this famous YouTube video that's out there right now about the city of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's very interesting. The backstory on this video is that there was a story in Newsweek magazine in May that described Grand Rapids as a dying city. And the people of the community were so moved and outraged by this that this group of people got together and they made this video. And it's a 7-minute video that Roger Ebert called the greatest music video ever made, and which I would describe as a city's love letter to itself. I mean, it's an extraordinary thing to see how they got 5,000 people to participate in the production of this video. And I was sitting here at this Vista Summit saying, and I said this to President Garcia earlier, this Vista Summit is sort of a love letter to yourselves as a community at the Rio Grande Valley. What I've seen in this meeting is a tremendous partnership of people, community leaders, business leaders, education leaders, coming together for a very important purpose, which is helping to propel the momentum forward on increasing high-quality higher education attainment as the key driver of economic and social and cultural prosperity for the Rio Grande Valley. And I think that's very moving, I think it's very impressive, and I think there's a great future ahead for all of you. What I've learned is really broken down into 3 simple things that I think matter as a result of this conversation that I've reflected on and that we'll be thinking about as we consider our future investments in the Valley and indeed across the state of Texas and nationally. The first one is, and it's in a way reflected in what I was just saying, community really matters. Community matters a great deal in terms of this work. I think we saw that from what Nancy Cantor was reflecting on in terms of what we've seen in the city of Syracuse, and of course we've seen that in terms of this community, that this sense that place matters, that this is not some generic set of problems that require a generic set of strategies, that this is a community and that community deserves and should demand specific responses and strategies. And local leaders, national organizations like all of us, we play a part in helping to make sure that community matters in this community. The second is that I think investment matters. I work at a foundation, I get that. Money matters. We are in a position where we can use resources to leverage change, and that change has to be focused on ensuring that there's a strong outcomes orientation and that we are focused ultimately on the things that matter. In this case, I think it's transforming the Valley, particularly for the people who've been left behind, the large Latino population in this community for whom the rest of the world is slowly passing them by, and we can't afford that individually or collectively. The third thing is that commitment matters. And one of the things that I was thinking about, actually, when Randy Whittington was speaking about his point about the partnership between communities. I think that's really important, seeing yourself as a unified community and creating that commitment to a common good rather than this competition among communities is really important. But partnership also matters between the business community, employer community, and the higher education community. I have an op-ed in today's Christian Science Monitor with my friend Charlie Cobb, who runs the national business organization called the Committee for Economic Development, where we make a pretty simple point, which is business leaders have to get in the game of transforming higher education in this country. The role of higher education in terms of our economic success is too important for business leaders to be on the sideline or to be critics rather than active partners that are actually participating in that transformation. So ultimately, what I think I've learned, I learned from one of the mothers that was speaking, who summed it up best in 2 of the things that she said. It was Gloria Guajardo. She's still here. She said 2 things that she spoke so effortlessly, you almost missed them. The first one was that we need to educate everybody. And And I take that at face value, literally. We need to educate everybody that this idea that somehow as a society it's okay to leave some people behind is simply unacceptable. And that concept, which might sound like an idealistic notion, is in fact an economic necessity. Educating everyone is not just the nice thing to do, it's the necessary thing to do. And the other thing that she said, I think it was a piece of advice that she had gotten from somebody, was you can't take away a good education. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's right. The one thing that you can have lots of things taken from you, but you can't have that good education taken away from you. In my family, I'm a first-generation college graduate, you know, first to go to college or graduate from college in my family. And in my family, me going to college eradicated poverty in my family forever. That's what it has to do for all of the families in the Valley. That's what it has to do for everyone who's here today, is it has to have that kind of transformative impact. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I've got lots of specific suggestions, trust me, but I just wanted to tell you what I've learned as a result of being here, and I really appreciate that opportunity.
Mr. Merisotis, thank you. Depending upon how long Mr. Rosser and Mr. Sajid will talk, we may ask you for a specific suggestion or two. We'll see. So.